Hello and welcome to another lesson from me, Trent, at Practice Makes Better Music. If you haven't checked out my website, go check it out. I've got a free course. It's a great course for developing more soloing chops, for building more pathways across the fretboard. It's a great course, and I hope you try it out, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is pull up the sheet music so that you can see the rhythm that I'm working with. So you'll notice that there's a rest on beat 1, and the riff or the exercise starts on the second triplet of beat 1. And continues with a stream of triplets all the way through to the last note, which it happens on beat 4 of the second measure of each pair of measures. So I'm going to demonstrate this and count it out loud so that you can hopefully get this rhythm down first and then start to think about these arpeggios and the differences. So I'm going to start with a major 7. And to demonstrate the rhythm, I'm just going to count it in. So 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So again, that's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And maybe you'll notice that I'm trying here to accent the first note of each grouping, like 1 and 2, that one, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. The reason you'd want to do it that way is just to really accent and feel the beginning of each grouping so that you're aligning your rhythm properly. So that rhythm carries throughout the whole exercise, and all we're doing from here on out is changing the arpeggio. So at the beginning, we're starting with major 7, so I'm reaching from the 8th fret, I'm on a C major 7. All of these are going to be starting from C on the 6th string. So I'm reaching from the 8th fret 6th string to the E at the 12th fret 6th string. I'm going to play one note on the 5th string. This is a G. So here we have beginning a triad. 1, 3, 5. Now my major 7 is B here, so now I've got a major 7 arpeggio, 1 octave. The way that I'm conceptualizing this is octave by octave. So this next octave, I've got 1, 3, 5 in this nice backwards diagonal shape of my triad here. And then on the second string, I'm going to hammer on to the B, the 7. And then I'm going to hit that C, 8th fret of the 1st string, and go backwards. In this exercise, I'm always ending back at the middle octave of C here with all of the different arpeggios. So this major 7 arpeggio, take some time to just get used to that, because this is the basic shape that all of the arpeggios in this workout are based on. So from this, I'm going to derive all of the different types of 7th chords that I'm covering today. So the first one beyond the major 7 is the dominant 7. And from a major 7 to get to the dominant 7, we just lower the 7th by a half step. So now our shape remains exactly the same. We have our C triad, except for that our 7th is down a half step from where it was here for the major 7. So now we have our dominant 7. You may notice I'm really kind of playing these in eighth notes right now. I'm just trying to demonstrate the basic patterns. I'll show you it in time here. So 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. From there, the minor 7, we just take this triad and we lower the third by a half step to E flat. So now we're going from the 8th fret to the 11th fret on the 6th string. Everything else is the same as the dominant. This one, again, will be our lowered third. When I'm going through the minor 7 here, there's a point between the 2nd and 3rd string where I have to bar my first finger to get that flat 3 and the 5. And I don't like to just leave my first finger flat here. I'm actually actively turning it slightly as I go. So I'm thinking that I'm playing this note, 8th fret on the 3rd string, and then 8th fret on the 2nd string, rather than just holding that really hard, because then I get the sound of them both ringing out at the same time, which is not really what I'm going for here. So 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and notice on the way up and down, I'm using that rolling first finger to get more separation out of those notes. From the minor 7, we're going to go to the minor 7 flat 5, or half diminished. Only difference between minor 7 and minor 7 flat 5 is, you guessed it, the 5th is flat. So one octave looks like this. We have 8th fret, 11th fret on the 6th string, then 9th fret on the 5th string, 8th fret, 10th fret. When you get to the 2nd octave, you have this diminished triad here that we're going up, and then you're going to be reaching a major 3rd on the 2nd string. So this is 2 whole steps. And then hitting the root note. So our minor 7 flat 5 looks like this. In time, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, we are going to the fully diminished. So fully diminished 7 is a 7th chord made up of all minor 3rd intervals. So what we're going to do is start the same way with this diminished triad, and then lower the 7th note that we did from here, the flat 7, down to a double flat 7, or the natural 6. Now you've got a fully diminished 7th chord, so we have hear how unstable that chord is. It's not a chord that you would typically just sit on for a long time. Typically, it's something that's meant to bring you to somewhere else. But it's a useful pattern to know. Very, very interesting sounding. So going from there, those are our primary 5 types of 7th chords. So these are the most common ones that you'll see. The next couple, the next 5 are going to be less common, but still pretty commonly used, as I mentioned earlier. So the next one is going to be a major 7 with a sharp 5. So major 7 was this. 1, 3, 5, 7. So what I'm going to do is raise that 5th. have here is an E major triad over C. Interesting to look at things from that perspective sometimes. It can give you a different idea of what's going on. But a major 7 sharp 5, basically like the third of the chord, E, making a triad over that and putting it over C. I think there's a scene out of Star Wars where they actually use this exact same arpeggio. Not the exact same rhythm, but it sounds Star Wars-y to me. For some reason. But you can look at this as an augmented triad with a major 7. Because that is what it is, but there's a couple different ways to look at it. But moving on from there, we have the dominant 7 sharp 5. So the triad, augmented triad, remains the same, but the 7 is flat. So now, from our sharp 5 to the flat 7 is a whole step, to the root is a whole step. So now we have this kind of scale walk up happening from here. Oops. And in time, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Next one, flat 5. So this one is going to be a little bit awkward because there's a reach we got to do. We got to get from E to F sharp here. I'm using my pinky and then my second finger. So we have the 8th fret, 12th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, 11th fret, 8th fret. And that's the dominant 7 flat 5. The next one we're going to do is the most out, diminished with a major 7. And this is not super common, but it has a really nice sound, and if you learn how to use it, it can be really a powerful tool. So introducing it here again, these are all the 7th chords that I covered in a lesson from a few months back entitled 10 types of 7th chords, and all I'm doing here is showing them in a new context for you to practice. But this one was included in that bunch. And it's a very odd one. So it's going to be a diminished triad. And then from the note that is the 5th of the diminished triad, the major 7, is going to be a perfect 4th away. It's especially tricky when we're here on the 2nd string because we have to reach a whole perfect 4th on that one string, which is quite a stretch. I'm reaching from the 7th fret all the way to the 12th fret in order to... So you see my fingering here is really important. I'm going to go from my 1st finger to my 3rd finger, bar my 1st finger on those 2 notes, because they're the same fret, 5th and 4th string, then hit my 3rd finger to there, to the root note, C, an octave up, play my diminished triad on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings, and then reach a perfect 4th on the same string to get to B, C on the 1st string, back to B, then down, diminished major 7, down a diminished triad. Very tense sounding chord. The final chord that will conclude this exercise in this lesson is the minor major 7. This is more common than the last one. I put this one as the final chord because it has a sense of resolution, at least more than this one does. So I put this one last, and this one is going to be a minor triad with a major 7. So another way I think about this is that we have the root C, and then we have E flat, and from there's an augmented chord, augmented triad. That's an augmented chord again. So minor major 7 derived from melodic minor or harmonic minor, where you have a minor 3rd with a natural 7. So that arpeggio looks like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed going through those different arpeggios. If you'd like to practice along, the practice workout is coming up in just a moment, starting at a slow tempo and moving towards a faster tempo. Like I mentioned at the beginning, if you haven't checked out my website, check it out at practicemakesbettermusic.com. Sign up for the mailing list if you'd like to access the free course, Pentatonic Pathways, which I think will help open up and break open some barriers that you might be experiencing across the fretboard and really help you to nail down some of the transitions that allow for more fluid motion in a horizontal way across the fretboard when you're improvising. So check that out. And next week I have a lesson coming on improvisation that focuses on chord progression that interchanges major and minor during improvisation. So I'm going to enjoy talking about that topic. So check back next week for a new lesson. I'm aiming to release these on Thursdays. Don't always get it because I'm a one-man operation over here. But another thing to check out is on my website I have a mentorship program that is a private lesson program that I'm doing, a special way to do private lessons where I can have continuous contact with my students through a messaging app. We have twice monthly lessons where we talk about concepts, build up a practice routine, something that's really specialized to you. And so this is a really exciting new way that I'm offering lessons, and I hope that you'll check it out. You can see the information about it on my website. Again, practicemakesbettermusic.com. So without any more jibba jabba, I'm going to hit the practice along workout. So start slow and work your way up and enjoy. Have a good week.